So 5 missed trades, 2 were profitable, 3 were losses, 4 met my plan, and 1 did not because it fell within the Asian session. But a net P&L of negative 0.45%, best case break even if you rule out the invalid position. Welcome back to the Daily NIBITS Day 173 of 365. 3 really important takeaways from the session that I think will help me miss fewer positions, but also improve the quality of my plan. The first is that confidence in your high time frame directional bias is really important. Now, don't get this confused with not being able to adapt to the market as it evolves, because that's not what I'm talking about here. So when I look over my journal, some of the hesitation I had at execution was due to getting caught up in the low time frames and thinking price was going to sell off when, we were really just forming a deeper correction before continuing. So confidence in your bias is important. Number 2 is that there are areas in my plan that lack clarity, which opens the door for too much discretion. Now, there's a few areas, but one that sticks out and, one that I know I'll be addressing first is when do I opt for an aggressive risk entry as opposed to the more conservative reduced risk entry? Now, both definitely have a place in my plan. The problem is I haven't clearly defined when I opt for one or the other. Finally, you can't always beat yourself up about missed trades, because I think it's easy to assume that just because price moved from, point A to B on, the high time frame, that this should be reflected in your bottom line just because it aligned with your analysis. I think how the low time frame ultimately develops and whether, an execution was there or not is something that needs to be considered as well. And even if you do execute, how do you know how price will develop? How your system performs as a whole really matters, because are you missing trades because your plan is keeping you out of terrible trades, or do you need to bridge the gap between analysis and execution? 1 month, 5 trades may not answer that question for you, but I think it starts to give you a bit of perspective. Remember, guys, consistency is the choice you make when you start doing the things you know you should be doing day in and day out.